Good morning, everyone. Before we start, did you know that the energy that the Philippines uses are mainly on fossil fuels? 75% of the energy made in the Philippines is from fossil fuels. This causes heavy pollution, which causes sicknesses and diseases to linger everywhere. This pollution has also caused 27,000 premature deaths to our country. Yes, that's right. 27,000 premature deaths. With that mentioned, why don't we start using renewable energy? Renewable energy is entirely natural and has no negative effects on the environment. By doing this, we can contribute to helping the air, water, and surroundings become less polluted. Would you want to breathe in that polluted air? It's going to cause a lot of sicknesses and diseases. You could even potentially have a very fatal disease. I know I wouldn't want that. So we should start using renewable energy. I'm Gwynn Daniel Gadia from 11 STEM 2, and I've learned a good amount of information through some researching that I have done. And I'll be sharing with you what I have learned so far. We'll be going through a series of discussions on the types of renewable energy sources that can be used and how they work, the benefits of using them, and a short comparison between non-renewable and renewable sources. Alright, so let's start with the simple discussions that I'll be doing about the types of renewable energy sources. Um, let's begin with solar energy. Solar energy comes from the light and heat of the sun. It is harnessed through the use of PV panels. When sunlight makes contact with these panels, a reaction triggers inside um, the panels because the sunlight or the rays of the sunlight they contain photons, and as these photons hit the panels, it creates an electrical charge that produces the energy that can then be used to power many things that require electricity. So, what does PV mean in PV panels? PV stands for photovoltaic, and PV materials and devices convert sunlight into electrical energy. A singular piece of PV device is known as a cell. Individual, and an individual PV cell is usually small, typically producing about 1 or 2 watts of power. These cells are made of different semiconductor materials and are often less than the thickness of 4 human hairs. In order to withstand the outdoors for many years, cells are sandwiched between protective materials in a combination of glass or plastics. Moving on to wind energy. Wind energy is harnessed through wind turbines. To people that have been in provinces, you typically see these tall white posts that have rotor blades on them. They rotate, and when wind hits them, it'll cause the windmill blades to rotate, and then inside it'll trigger gears to spin around. And once it starts spinning, the force of the spinning can then be you. I mean, that will cause the production of energy. That it'll be used for energy. I mean, electricity afterwards. And now let's proceed to hydropower. Hydropower energy generates power through the use of a dam that alters the natural flow of water from a river or other bodies of water. Um, when you find or search for dams, usually you'll see these like um, some of them have tubes that water flows through them, and then the the movement of the water causes kinetic energy, wherein the turbines that are inside of the hydropower plant will then convert that kinetic force into electricity that can be used to for energy usage. So now let's move on to geothermal energy. How does it work? Well, um, in some parts of the Philippines, there are geothermal power plants, and the way geothermal energy is extracted are through these power plants. They draw hot fluids or rocks or steam from underground. And as Turbines will absorb the steam or hot liquid, and that'll drive them to generate electricity before it is sent back to the reservoir that are buried below, and then absorbed energy will then be used, yeah, for producing electricity that can then be used to power things. And for the last type of renewable energy source, we have biomass. Biomass comes entirely from organic materials like wood, plants, agricultural waste, animal waste. Yeah, they're used to burn. They burn these materials, which produces heat and steam, like geothermal energy. It'll be used to, I mean, turbines will absorb these, or yeah, and it'll cause turbines to, yeah, produce energy and electricity to be used for powering. So now that we've discussed the different types of energy sources, let's get to why it is actually good for us. For starters, renewable energy is a clean, eco-friendly source of energy. When generating these renewable energy sources, they actually emit little to no greenhouse gas emissions, which is good because it doesn't contribute to global warming or climate change or other environmental impacts. On top of that, it can save our economy in the long run because think of it this way: would you rather have to pay for something monthly? You pay for it constantly, every month, every year, quarterly, I don't know. It depends. But, and yeah, that'll be very pricey, usually costs a whole lot. Or would you rather pay for something one time, just one payment, never again? It may be expensive, but if you think of it, it's just once, you don't have to pay for it every now and then. So think about that. Finally, to compare the non-renewable energy sources, fossil fuels, and the different types of renewable energy sources. Fossil fuels have limited resources. Those coal, oil, and natural gas are all going to run out eventually and would take a long time to renew, ranging from hundreds of thousands of years to millions. Fossil fuels also cause harmful pollution to our environment like smog, acid rains, or toxins that pollute the surroundings around us. They can cause oil spills, coal runoff, um, fracking wastewaters or water sources. But with renewable energy, these are entirely eco-friendly and don't cause any of those. So it would not impact our environment. For the cherry on top, the usage of renewable energy sources. The renewable energy sources aren't bound to run out as these sources are constantly replenished, and yeah, they're entirely natural. If you think about it, like, say for example, solar energy. Solar energy can be replenished every day because it's just the sunlight that produces the electricity. And wind is available nighttime, daytime, anytime. Like all it needs is to hit the wind turbines and it'll produce electricity. And with all that settled, we'll be wrapping things up real shortly. I sure hope you guys have learned something from this. Remember, there are five different types of energy resources: solar, wind, hydropower, geothermal, and biomass, which are all natural and renewable. Fossil fuels cause pollution, making it very bad for the environment and should stop being used. Stop. It just ruins our environment. During the start of the speech, I mentioned that the Philippines is heavily reliant on fossil fuels. So let's put an end to that and switch to renewable energy sources. Without further ado, I thank you all for having your time to listen to my speech and have a good day.